What's growing on, gardeners? Today's video may come as a shock to many of you, but it is true. I hate my garden, and this fall, I'm going to start ripping it out. Hate is probably the wrong word. It's more like a resentment. You see, at first I had a deep love and passion for my garden, and I wanted to spend as much time in it as possible. But over time, I started to notice a little bit of quirks that were cute at first, but then as time went on, they started getting under my skin, and they burrowed deeper and deeper until I got to the point where every single time I would notice them, all I wanted to do was just choke it. Hold on. Calm down, deep breaths, fall strawberry. Now, what a surprise. It needed a few more days and it was bitter. Relax, folks. I'm just kidding. You have to have some fun out here in the garden. And that strawberry, it was actually pretty good despite being a few days underripe. But that being said, I do need to start overhauling my garden because I was serious when I said that there are a few things about it that I'm just not digging anymore. When I first started building my garden over 6 years ago, I had just bought my first home and I was broke as a joke. So as a way to cut costs, I built all of my raised beds using 2x8 lumber, and that was the cheapest way to build them at the time. But now that it's been several years, it's starting to irritate me because they are too shallow, the roots of my plants constantly dip into the native sandy soil, which contains root knot nematodes, and it's become a problem. And on top of that, I'm just not as young as I used to be, and I don't like having to bend down this far. I need deeper raised beds. The plants will grow better and it will save my aging back. The other thing I can no longer tolerate here is the rainfall in the summers, and this is something that I had to learn the hard way because I spent the first 31 years of my life living in New Jersey and Pennsylvania, where summers are fairly mild and dry. Here, it's like a deluge of rain. It is absolutely terrible, and plants growing out in the open often succumb to the heavy rainfall. So had I known what I know now, I would have arranged my beds in some way that I could build a roof over part of them to keep them dry during our horrible summer rains. Now, there's just no way that I'd be able to enclose my entire garden with a roof. My garden is 35 feet by 35 feet, and that is way beyond my ability to build a roof that large. I would have to hire someone professionally. All of these 4x4 posts would have to come out. I'd have thousands of square feet of polycarbonate roofing. It would probably cost tens of thousands of dollars. So that is completely out of the question. But just because I can't have exactly what I want doesn't mean I can't improve some aspects of my garden. What I can do is I can pull these two raised garden beds and these perimeter beds that I don't like working in anyway because they are too narrow, and I can take the raised garden beds, stack them on top of other ones so I can increase the depths of the beds I already have, and then I can build a little roof over these sections right here between this 4x4 post and that 4x4 post. So I can build some new raised beds that are under a tiny roofed-in portion while taking my existing ones and then using them to increase the depth of the ones that are already working. So I will have the best of both worlds and something cheap and easy that I can build on my own. Now, this raised garden bed right here probably can't be used for a while because there is a bunch of zucchini growing in it and we don't have any frosts or freezes on tap for quite a while yet. But this raised bed right here, I'm pretty much done in. This pepper plant is shot and my thyme plant has finally died back after close to 7 years. I think it's reached end of life, and I've replaced it with a thyme plant elsewhere. So I think I can take this raised garden bed right here, stack it on top of another one, and then I can have half of this area freed up and I can slowly accomplish my goal over the course of the whole winter. The first thing I had to do was pick up and remove the existing garden bed that I no longer want sitting in that location. So I picked it up, I dragged it across my garden, and I placed it on top of the other existing garden bed that I wanted to make taller. Now, luckily, because I built all of these garden beds to the exact same template, it sat on top of the other garden bed almost perfectly, so really no modification was necessary. A problem I did have was the raised bed wood has warped slightly over the years, so I need to pull the top bed down so it seats properly, and I need to pull the bend out of the wood. So in order to do that, I measured the depth of both raised beds stacked on top of each other, and they were 14¼ inches tall. So I took an old 2x4 that I've had lying around for a long time, and I cut a bunch of 14-inch sections. And then I dug out around all 4 corners of the raised bed and placed the section of 2x4 that I cut there. And the goal is to pre-drill into the wood and press down on the top raised bed and use the torsion of the screws to take the twist and the bending out of the wood. So I pre-drilled each raised bed while pushing down on the top bed, and I added the screws in, and that was able to effectively take the twisting out of the wood. So I did that with all 4 corners of the raised beds as well as the midpoints of both sides. And this is the final product. I have a double depth raised bed at 14.25 inches deep. And you can see what I did at all 4 corners. I took that 2x4 and that took all of the twisting out of the raised beds at the 4 corners. But there was still twisting in the center, especially lengthwise. So I put another piece of 2x4 in the middle right there, and then that completely took the twist out of the raised bed. I did that both lengthwise and widthwise. And now I have basically a perfectly straight double depth raised bed that is in serious need for fill. So now the next thing I have to do is I need to take a wheelbarrow or a dump cart, and I need to scrape up all of the compost and garden soil from my original raised bed that I removed, and I will deposit that into this new raised bed to fill it. And right here is the final result. I have to say I am thrilled with the way this turned out. It came out even better than I thought it would. There was just enough mix from the other raised bed to fill this up, and I also added in 2 bags of compost as well, and I worked it into the top couple inches of soil, so now this bed is completely ready for planting in. And I can already tell this bed is going to be a lot easier to work in. Instead of kneeling down and having to bend over, I can pretty much just kneel down now, so there will be no bending involved. Sure, it would be a lot better if the bed was this tall up to waist height, but then it would cost me a ton of money to do. So this is a great compromise. This basically cost me nothing because I reused my old bed and I had an old 2x4 lying around. So this was a great free way to extend my raised garden bed. And then over here is the area where that old raised garden bed was. I'm going to clear out this entire area once all of the zucchini is done in that other raised bed over there, and then I will get rid of these perimeter beds, and this will hopefully be the covered section of garden that I can use in the future. So that will give me a pretty good space to add some new deep raised beds. So let this video be a reminder to you that if there are certain aspects about your garden that you don't like, you can improve them. I try to make improvements to my garden every single year, and while this will be one of the most significant improvements I've made in years, and it will be quite a lot of work to undertake what I am envisioning, I have all fall and winter to do it. So I can just take my time and chip away at little tasks one by one, and you will be certain that I will document every single one of them so I can show you how I am going to improve my garden over the winter season. In fact, to every single gardener out there, I strongly recommend that you always have some kind of late fall, early winter project that you undertake, because the weather this time of year is just perfect to be out in the garden doing heavier lifting and physical labor. You don't want to wait until it is really hot in the spring and the summer. So come outside, enjoy the nice, cool, dry fall air, the low humidity. Take advantage of the cooler weather to do the harder digging and building and shoveling kind of tasks. You will be happy you did, and in the spring you will be growing bigger than ever. So everybody, I sure hope you enjoyed this video and that you stick with me throughout the fall and the winter to see how I'm going to improve my garden. If you did enjoy this video, please make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and please ring the notification bell so you're notified when I release more videos like these. If you're curious about any of the products that I use in real life in my garden, they are all linked down below in my Amazon storefront link in the video description. So expand the video description, click on the Amazon link, you'll see everything I use in real life. I'll also drop some direct links down there for the tools I used in this video if you think now is a good time to build up your power tool collection. While you're down there, you can also check out my spread shop for custom merch if you want to support the channel. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to see all of you again on the next video. All right, Dale just got a bath, and I know he's going to go crazy. He's going to go air drying. Go, Dale, go. Get your toy. Come on, let's get him. Whoa! There he goes. He's going crazy. Yeah, I'm sure he's a lot drier now. Good boy, Dale. He hates getting a bath, but he always feels so much better after he's done. I bet you do. Oh, he's defluffing his toy. Kill, Dale, kill. Oh my goodness. Somebody is feeling better.